What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Chris and Rob Productions. As always, I am Chris, and I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. Today is August 1st, and today is also the series premiere for Batman Cape Crusader. So for this video, I'm gonna review episode one. Ralph and I were 5 episodes in. There's 10 episodes. They all dropped today. All the whole season dropped. Um, if you've seen some of my past videos about Cape Crusader, you know that my excitement is as high as it could possibly be. Batman, he is my favorite character across all of comics, DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, Image. I think Batman is just the GOAT. So when this show was is whenever I first caught wind that it was going to be coming out, that it didn't get shut down and that it was going to go to Amazon Prime, I've been counting down the days and the months till this show comes out. So for this, I'm gonna get into spoilers. This episode was about 35 minutes, I think around 35 minutes to 40 minutes. Um, I'm just gonna go ahead and just say my true feelings about this show. I think this show is perfect. I genuinely believe that. I think the writing is amazing. I think the portrayal of Batman is amazing. I think the supporting cast absolutely stellar. The changes that they've made to some of these characters works exponentially. I think they just work so well. Episode one is titled. Let me go ahead. In Treacherous Waters. The main villain for this episode is Oswaldo Cobblepot. Before I get into the plot and things that I liked about this show, I'm just going to get into the vibes that I got from the show. Of course, Bruce Timm, he is the co-creator of this show. I think he's the executive producer. Bruce Timm did the Batman animated series. He did Batman Beyond. So this show is a throwback to the Batman animated series. That feeling, it feels like it was drawn like how they drew the animated series back in the 90s. They drew on black paper, and that's what I feel. Obviously, they drew on digital this time around, but who knows? Maybe they drew physical as well. It has that texture, the animation, the texture. There's a shot of like Batman going over a gargoyle, and it has beautiful texture. The voice acting is amazing. Hamish Linklater, I think he said the other day that he felt very intimidated because he felt like he was going to do an impression of Kevin Conroy, but I think he very much honors the Batman legacy. He honors Kevin Conroy's legacy, and I think this show is just beautiful. Um, Ooh, where do I start? I'm not gonna give like to a major breakdown of this whole episode, but essentially, we get introduced, of course, to our Batman, and off the top, that this is it's not TVMA, but it's pushing that PG-13 rating um to like a TVMA sort of, because I think the language is a little edgier. I think the actions and the way that some of these characters carry themselves, I think they're just a lot more adult oriented. The writing is very smart. I think it's simple to follow. It's not like you have to have a degree in criminology to follow this plot, of course. But it's just matured for an animation project. It's very matured, and of course, animation could be mature. If I had to relate this to something, I think I relate it very much to like Andor over at Star Wars. Andor is my favorite project in Star Wars history. That's just my personal opinion. And I think this show kind of has inklings of that. Very much similar to like a True Detective. And I know True Detective, I think, is one of the greatest shows to ever exist, at least season one. And I think this series sort of draws from that. For this episode, like I mentioned, the main villain is Oswaldo Cobblepot, and she's basically at turf war with Rupert Thorne. Oswaldo, voiced by Minnie Driver. Minnie Driver did a fantastic job. And this is like every episode. So, like I said, I'm 5 episodes in. I'm not going to get into episodes two to five. I'm going to focus on episode one. Um, but Oswalda, she is just scary. Um, She's charismatic as hell. Oswald, the traditional penguin, very insecure, very driven by wanting to prove people wrong of what they think of him because he's very self-conscious. This Oswalda, her confidence is over the moon. So I think is very much portrayal, a different portrayal of the penguin. And for Batman, I think um he is a lot he's very rough around the edges. I guess you can draw comparisons to Matt Reeves' Batman. Of course, Matt Reeves also a producer for this show. Um, but this Batman, he it's not year one Batman. So if you're looking for like an origin or like not an origin, but like sort of like oh he's still trying to learn how to be Batman. No, this dude knows how to be Batman. He is hardcore. His interrogation. If you ever played Arkham Knight and that interrogation mode where you can like put the wheel of the Batmobile on a henchman's head and essentially crush that dude's head without killing him, of course, to get information out of him. That's what Batman does in this one, but it feels like it's heightened because you genuinely like the Batman in Arkham Knight, you knew he wasn't gonna hurt that guy. Of course, you knew it. No matter how long you held onto that button, you know nothing's gonna happen to that henchman. This Batman, it genuinely feels like he's gonna let that dude get killed. He was interrogating a guy, basically put him in front of a train and was trying to get information out of him. The premise of this episode is that there's a turf war going on. Rupert Thorne's buildings are getting blown up, and they're trying to figure out who's doing it. At the same time, there's a fundraiser for GCPD um, by Oswalda, and she's basically pulling a fast one on GCPD. She's taking their pensions and things like that. She's robbing them blind. And Batman's trying to figure out exactly who's blowing up these Rupert Thorne buildings and how is he going to stop Oswald? He's trying to figure out that it's her. A couple of other characters that we're introduced to. Barbara Gordon. I am in love with this Barbara Gordon. I love her. Oh my gosh, she's behind Batman. She's my favorite character. We get introduced to Harvey Dent, played by Diedrich Bader. Of course, the Diedrich Bader voiced Batman for Batman Brave and the Bold. Barbara Gordon, voiced by Crystal Joy Brown. Forgot to mention that. And then our Commissioner Gordon is voiced by Eric Morgan Stewart. Barbara and Gordon, they have such a great father daughter chemistry. It's not, she doesn't give him the cold shoulder like we've seen Barbara do in other iterations. She's not necessarily like, she doesn't praise her dad to the heavens like we've seen in other iterations. She's very much, they work in the precinct together. She's a lawyer. Obviously, he's the commissioner. So they're partners in this throughout this whole journey. In episode one, I think their relationship is awesome. And Harvey Dent, played by Diedrich, this dude, he's gonna eventually become Two Face, but God, this dude is corrupt. Like, godly. Um, Speaking of Harvey Dent, him and Bruce Wayne, of course, are friends in this. Well, they're friends in, of course, in the comics and things like that. Um, Bruce Wayne, he is so suave. He's arrogant, borderline an asshole, but I think it works very well. I think Hamish Linklater, the voices that he does for Bruce Wayne, he has three voices. Well, two, I guess. He has his Bruce Wayne voice whenever he's surrounded around people that's not Alfred. And then he has his Bruce Wayne voice when he's around Alfred. And I think that's the same voice he uses for Batman regularly. So he has two voices. Alfred, voiced by Jason Watkins, a very traditional Alfred. Very much he assists Batman. He's very informative and he's smart, of course. But I think he's not as driven. No, he's not driven. He's driven. What am I trying to say? As aggressive compared to other Alfreds, where other Alfreds would be like, Master Bruce, stop what you're doing, and then Batman would listen or Bruce Wayne would listen. This this Alfred, was sort of getting like, overpowered by by Bruce Wayne throughout the episode. But that's fine. I guess that's the iteration that they're going for. Um, I love this. I love this show. Um, the ending for this episode is very satisfying. The way that Batman is able to stop Oswalda. And obviously this is spoiler review, so essentially he stops Oswalda, but he ends up giving Rupert Thorne the power play to take more turf. And even though Batman succeeded in stopping Oswalda, he literally says, I failed and that's never going to happen again. So, of course, it's the Batman trope of where his biggest mental enemy is himself. He's the hardest on himself, as he should be. He's Batman. So, I think this show is beautiful. Animation is amazing. The music is so freaking good. It is just we watched it with like we both had a pair of headphones, and like our headphones have like a good amount of bass and depth. You hear every single piece of uh what is it called? I'm so sorry. Whenever they record audio, like physical audio for items and stuff afterwards. I know there's a term, but you feel it. You feel like you're in the 1940s in terms of the technology that they're using, the way that their voices are. I think this show is perfect. We're 5 episodes in, like I mentioned, so I'm gonna do reviews for every single episode. We're gonna probably finish either tonight or tomorrow the show. But I just wanted to do my review for this episode. This is longer than I expected. I'm already about to be 12 minutes in, but it's just because I just love this show so much. This, I know if you're still watching, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you watching. I'm just gonna go on a little like tangent about myself. The last couple of years, I've had trouble finishing shows. I wasn't able to finish Loki. I wasn't able to finish X-Men 97. I wasn't able to finish Miss Marvel. Um, there's The Boys. I haven't even started season 4 of Invincible. I got halfway through the newest season and I couldn't finish it. And it's not that those shows are bad or anything like that. Not necessarily. It's just my desire to watch, comic book genre projects has sort of dwindled over the years, because I feel like a lot of these projects they're just not what it reminds me of what I love and no one love over the last 10-15 years. So this Cape Crusaders, when I saw the trailer, it just instantly like gave me a desire to watch this show, and binging 5 episodes back to back to back to back. It's the first time that I've done that in literal years. So this show is special to me, and I can't wait to watch the rest of it. So, if you're still watching, like I mentioned, I appreciate the support. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I'll be doing my reviews for the other episodes. I'll do a review for the overall season. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So go check this out on Amazon Prime Video. I'm gonna try to finish it tonight. So, guys, as always, I'm Chris. I appreciate the support. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.